Six months after Hurricane Michael, towns like Mexico Beach, Panama City, and Port St. Joe are faced with the new reality every day.
The scars from Hurricane Michael are massive. The cost for the cleanup is the only thing bigger.
Our next hurricane season begins in just a few days, but the cleanup from last year is far from over.
And federal help to finish the cleanup is slow to trickle in. NBC 15's Darwin Singleton takes us to ground zero of the forgotten storm.
It's not unusual to see Susie Cross taking her daily stroll across the white sands of Mexico Beach, Florida. But these days, most of her neighbors are just too busy to look. They're working night and day to rebound from taking a direct hit from Hurricane Michael.
It's been 6 months. I still cry.
You can look this way, and you can really, for a moment, escape it.
You can, and that's the reason I walk, not only for the exercise, but for my soul.
And the battle for that soul, it continues as towns like Mexico Beach struggle with mountains of debris. Here in Mexico Beach, a surprising amount of cleanup has already been done. Sure, there's still some piles of debris around like this one, but for the most part, a lot of it's been cleaned up. But cleaning up piles of debris is one thing. Getting federal money for doing so, well, that is another. Mexico Beach City Manager Tanya Castro had only been on the job for a couple of weeks when her house became part of that mountain of debris.
We actually have already received about $7 million in reimbursement from FEMA and the state.
But you're saying $60 million. Mm-hmm. That's a huge cleanup.
Yeah, it is.
City workers are doing a lot of it, but so are private contractors. We watched as one crew picked up remaining piles of debris along city streets. And riding behind them, a monitor paid to make sure it's done right so there won't be any quibbling about federal reimbursement. Because, as Bay County officials will tell you, there are strict guidelines about what qualifies and what doesn't. Bay County Manager Bob Micah keeps watch over unincorporated areas of that county. Their cost just for debris removal from unincorporated communities will probably total around $380 million when completed. FEMA and state disaster funding will cover most of that, but not all of it, and that will put a strain on future budgets, no doubt about it.
Kind of put it into context with Irma, so Miami-Dade, I think the average spend per capita on their response and recovery down there was a little over $2 per person. Our spend per capita here in Bay County will exceed $3,000 per person.
And remember, this is a battle also being waged within city limits of towns like Panama City and Callaway and dozens of others. Back at Mexico Beach, Susie Cross watches the progress, and for her, she says you just can't put a price on recovery. It's something that just has to happen.
We just don't give up. We don't say no.
Susie's here to stay.
Exactly.
In Mexico Beach, I'm Darwin Singleton, NBC 15 News.